Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to share another video with you guys, and we are talking all about powerlessness. And I know this is a very heavy topic, and I want to bring some lightness to it, and I want to explain how it is that we can overcome a lot of the challenges that we go through, especially when it comes to dealing with depression, powerlessness, and getting ourselves into those lower frequencies that make us feel like we have no control or no power in our life. And first, let's define what powerlessness is. So in my definition of the term, it is when you are feeling completely out of control of what is either happening to you in your life, or the circumstances or situations that are occurring in your life are basically making you feel like you are completely powerless. Like you're out of control, you don't know what to do, there's no way to escape it, and this is a completely valid feeling. So I want to say the first thing to do when you feel this way is to accept and acknowledge the feeling, because you can't get out of anything if you don't first acknowledge it. You may think you're getting out of it, but what you're really doing is stuffing it down if you don't acknowledge the feeling and allow yourself to process through it. Because just like I've said in past videos, emotion is energy, and if we're stuffing the energy down by not feeling through it, we're keeping it stuck in our body or in our energetic field. So with that being said, step number one is acknowledging that you're feeling powerlessness. And another thing that I want to mention real quick too is it is very common for us to feel powerless at a younger age. Most of the time, powerlessness stems from childhood, because the truth is all of us had either parents, guardians, or somebody who was in control of us when we were little kids. We didn't really have the freedom that we wanted. And so in some way, shape, or form, all of us have this feeling of powerlessness within us because we were parented and controlled as children. So when we feel out of control of ourselves, and when we feel like we are not able to be ourselves fully, that can cause feelings of powerlessness and anger and rage, and all of these signs or feelings of just feeling like you're out of connection with your own inner power. So I just wanted to quick do that little rant, because I feel like that helps you understand it a little bit better. And in my personal experience, I felt very, very powerless when I was a little girl, just because of circumstances and situations. And because of that, I stuffed a lot of that down. And it wasn't until years later that, especially like within the past 3 to 4 years, I've been working through those feelings of feeling powerless, anger, rage, things like that. But what had been the biggest breakthrough for me personally was when I finally allowed myself to feel through the emotions and to not identify with them and not attach myself to them. And so instead of in the moment feeling like, something may happen in my external, something may happen in my environment. You could be, lose money, or, even something as crazy as losing a loved one, or something that basically throws you off your rocker, like pulling the rug out from underneath you. In that moment, you're feeling completely out of control. You're feeling powerless. And instead of identifying yourself as that feeling, you say, this feeling is moving through me. So you can be present with it and allow yourself to understand that everything is passing and everything is always changing. So if we know that, then we already have taken back our power. So instead of moving, in a downward spiral of emotions of feeling, oh, I'm powerlessness, oh, I want to escape this, and then that can lead into, depression and suicidal thoughts and things like that. Instead, we can be present with ourselves and allow those emotions to come through us, whether it be, allowing yourself to feel angry, allowing yourself to feel sad and crying. You may even need to get some friends or support group around you that can help you feel safe to go through whatever it is that you're going through. Because I know for me personally, it has really helped me to have a support group or people around me who can make me feel safe, especially when I'm going through really challenging emotions, because it just gives you permission to go through what you're going through, and you just don't feel alone. because when you don't feel alone, that can help you process through a lot of these lower things or these lower emotions in a much easier way, because feeling alone can obviously lead to a lot of other issues. That's where depression and, when people start to question their life and things like that, a lot of it stems from loneliness as well. So powerlessness is a big topic, and I wanted to discuss it because I feel like all of us deal with this at some point in our life, because something at some point is going to make you feel out of control. And I know that our ego is constantly trying to control situations to keep us safe, because it thinks if we can control situations, if we can control everything in our life, that somehow, some way, we are going to be protected from whatever danger happened to us in our past, or whatever the ego thinks is going to, make us lose our life. Because at the end of the day, the ego is trying to protect us from dying, and that can be obviously a big roadblock to transformation too. So learning the difference between those two things, learning that you don't have to identify yourself with emotions, be present with them, allow them to flow through you. If it feels like it's something that's too heavy for you to deal with alone, definitely find some friends, support group, a therapist, a counselor, somebody who can help you flow through these emotions and feel safe doing so. And that's going to put you on the path to healing. And I would say that the next step after you're able to process through these emotions is, once you have the awareness that you are not your emotions and that you don't have to identify with them, you're going to have much more control over your emotional state, meaning that in the time when something happens that makes you feel completely powerless and out of control, you know from past experiences that it doesn't have to define you, and that it's just a temporary thing happening. And instead of going into powerlessness, we can stay in our power, in our energy, and say, I have the power to respond to this, and I have the power to create my life. So we are not powerlessness, we are actually very powerful. But because being powerless is so familiar to us, that is oftentimes the thing that we go to because it's so familiar. So if we can make being in our power, being in our own energy, more of a familiar state, then that's what we're going to experience when we go through these challenging experiences or when we feel out of control. Because the truth is, we are very powerful. We are co-creating with life. And if we can truly believe that and stay in that, then we can experience a much more harmonious, happy, and fulfilling life. And that's all I have for today's video. I am still offering coaching. If that's something that you guys are interested in, my information is in the description box below. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.